Hey yo, what's up, YouTube? I hope everyone's having an amazing day. Um, I'm gonna film a quick video here, and it's gonna be an interesting video. Never really done a video like this. I've done a video similar to this, but not one exactly like this. But here we go. So, for those of you that don't know, I was named after my cousin. Um, Not sure where my auntie got the name, but I have a theory because everyone I meet, when I see them at work or somewhere else, or maybe on the street, they ask me what nationality I am. And most of the time, people think that I'm Italian. Um, because of my name, and partly because, how I look. So I have a theory. Maybe back in the day, one of my relatives married an Italian person. And I think this theory is going to be true. I'll show you on the screen right now. So I've taken several DNA tests. I did Punt DNA. I did several with GEDmatch. I did one with Ancestry and like 4 or 5 with GEDmatch. I did Punt DNAL, K12. I did Gedrosia. I think it was K6 or K12. Can't remember what it was. All of the Ethiohelix DNA tests. And now I did the Africa 9, which is a part of the DotaCAD project. And here are the results. Move my hand out of the way. Put that in my left hand. There we go. So we have Europe. Zoom in. Europe, 60%. Southwest Asia, 33%. Northwest Africa, 1.79%. San, 0.5%. That's not a surprise. I expected to be. I honestly expected those to be the results. But what it breaks down to, population source. Now, mind you, they only have 9 reference populations, and they have a limited number of sources for each population. So this is like very specific. This is like just basically mostly my Mediterranean side with my Hijazi side mixed in. This is basically all that is. So what do you see on the first one? Tuscan. So Tuscany is around Florence in northern Italy. Second one, North Italy. So like the Lombardy region around Bergamo. Then what do you see? Druze. Now the Druze, they're like a minority in Balad Hashem. They live in Palestine. They live in Syria. They live in Lebanon. There's a tiny community in Jordan, but not much. That's the next one of major value, okay? The next important one, should we say. After that, Jordanian. I've gotten Jordanian on literally every single DNA test I've done. Egypt and Egyptian, same thing. Every DNA test except Gedrosia, I've gotten Egyptian on it. The Druze was a surprise, though. All right, next one, French Basque, surprise. Yemeni, not a surprise. I've gotten Yemeni before on DNA tests. Libya, not a surprise. I've gotten that one on literally every DNA test. Bedouin, definitely not a surprise. I'm from the Al-Tirabin Bedouin tribe. My maternal grandma is from the Al-Tirabin Bedouin tribe of Palestine and Egypt. Algeria, not a surprise. I believe Punt DNAL and Ethiohelix had me at like very small percentage of Algerian. Saudi, not a surprise. The Al-Tirabin tribe is originally from Makkah, Medina, Jeddah, that area. It's a small. We get the name from a valley called Teraba. Morocco North, not a surprise. I got that one on on Ethio-Helix, I got Morocco North. So that's around Rabat, Tangier, that area. Next one of importance is Ethiopian. Not a surprise. I got Ethiopian Amhara and Ethiopian. Actually, I got Ethiopian Amhara, Ethiopian Tigrinya, and Ethiopian Oromo on the Ethio-Helix. It's a very small percentage, though. And then broadly East African. That's not a surprise because I got Afar, a very small percentage of Afar on the the Ethio-Helix. The ones that surprised me were Druze and Tuscan and North Italian. Those were the ones that surprised me. French Basque, my grandpa had hinted at it. There might be some French Basque back there. Druze, I knew I had some Lebanese in me, but I didn't know it was Druze. The Bedouin, that's half of my Palestinian side is Bedouin. The others like Madani, Palestinian from Khan Yunis. That's basically it. So my theory is, and I think my theory is correct, one of my relatives married an Italian, and that's how the name Arturo got in the family. And then my auntie gave that name to my cousin. And then when I was born, my mom gave me that name. But that's my theory. But it's interesting. It's interesting. And it's interesting how much area my background is from. I mean, the farthest west, according to this DNA test, now this is very limited in scope, keep in mind, with only 9 reference populations and a limited number of population sources. It's interesting that even given those variables, given those limits, that the range that the results cover in terms of geography stem from Bayonne, France in the west to Makalla, Yemen in the east. And then in the south, you have places like Mogadishu, Hargeisa. If the East African is Somali. If it's not Somali, if it's Afar, like I thought earlier, or as Ethio-Helix hinted at, which I believe it is. I believe it's Afar. So that would mean that the farthest south would either be Makalla, Yemen, or the Ethiopian Addis Ababa, and the farthest north would be Bergamo, Italy. But I don't know why I covered that with my hand. But what was I gonna say? But that doesn't change, how I'm identify. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool fact, But like, I'm not gonna go around like saying, "Oh, I'm Italian" or something like that. No, I'm. Especially because this is very limited. This test is very limited in scope, and leaves out major groups in the region. For Southwest Asia, it leaves out Lebanon and Palestine. It only has Druze. Europe leaves out England and Scotland, and Spain, and all kinds of countries it leaves out. But, I mean, it's still interesting. It's interesting that, people can perceive different mannerisms, different vibes about me. And I do want to visit all the countries on this list. So we'll put the list back up there. I definitely want to visit all these countries: Italy, Morocco, Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, France, Yemen, Libya, Sudan, Palestine, Yemen, Algeria, Saudi, obviously I said Morocco earlier, Morocco, north side of Morocco, Ethiopia, Djibouti, and Somalia, and Eritrea. And I think that would be really interesting. Oh, my hand's covering it a little bit. It would be very interesting to do a world tour. I might try to do a Mediterranean cruise, a BDS compliant Mediterranean cruise. Not maybe fly into Bergamo or Florence, and then fly to Trapani, and then go down to Tunis. No, maybe go to Tunis, or even better, from Florence. Oh no, you need to see that because you really need to see where I'm going to go. From Florence, fly to Tunis, and then Tunis, go to Alexandria. Alexandria, go to Beirut. From Beirut, fly to Amman. Amman, fly to Aqaba, and then take the boat to Nuweiba. And that's what I think I would do. Yeah, so that's all from this video because it's almost 7:30 and I got somewhere to be. So yeah, that's it. Peace.